Welcome back. Well, the House passed the $895 billion defense bill yesterday. It had bipartisan support. More than 80 Democrats voted for it. It now heads to the Senate. It includes a pay raise of 14.5% for junior enlisted troops. It puts limits on transgender-related medical care for minors. Can you imagine we're talking about that in a defense bill? It also includes more than $17 billion for military construction projects and $3 billion for U.S. telecom companies to remove equipment made by Chinese companies Huawei and ZTE from their telecom equipment. The bill does not include the Countering CCP Drones Act. That bans the sale of Chinese drones from DJI in the United States. I keep asking the question, why do we buy drones from a Chinese company? The nearly $1 trillion spending measure comes after the U.S. national debt surpassed $36 trillion last month. Lawmakers will turn their attention now to the December 20th government funding deadline. Joining me now is Virginia Congressman Rob Wittman. He's the Vice Chairman of the House Armed Services Committee and a member of the House China Select and Natural Resources Committee. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to be back with you, Maria.
So you're on armed services. Why do we buy drones from China? Why are the U.S. military, why is the U.S. military using drones that are made by DJI, a Chinese company?
Maria, we should not be buying drones from China. We should be buying drones from U.S. companies. We have a number of U.S. companies that can produce and provide those drones to the United States military. The House was very adamant to have that in there. There were some entities that said, oh, we can't completely go away from DJI. I believe that we can. I believe that we have to. If you look at the incursion of drones in many areas around the United States at alarming rates, I think it's very apparent that we need to address this issue of these unmanned aerial systems, and especially have a much more robust counter-unmanned aerial system. I've been leading that effort. We had a significant incursions about a year ago at Joint Base Langley-Eustis that had an impact on our military operations. We have to do more in that area, from not allowing Chinese manufactured drones to be used by the United States military, but also we have to do more in a counter-unmanned aerial system effort in the United States.
So, I mean, this seems very obvious to me, Congressman. Am I naive? I mean, it seems very obvious to me that if the military, supposedly the strongest, best military in the world, is using a drone that is made by China, then everything that drone sees, then China can see. So who specifically is telling you can't get away from DJI, the Chinese drone maker? I don't understand. This seems like an urgent matter, especially since right now we're talking about these wild drones in the air. I know you introduced new bills to counter China's dominance over supply chains of critical minerals, and that's great. The Earth Sciences and Cooperation Enhancement Act of 2024 would authorize and appropriate money for the Secretary of the Interior to work with foreign governments on critical mineral supply chains. Good for you, good for America. But I don't understand why you get pushback from saying that we need to stop buying drones from DJI. This is very important. So who's stopping it?
Yeah, listen, there are some that have said that we can't move away from that technology. I disagree with that, Maria. I think that we absolutely have to and must move away from that technology. We have the opportunity. We have a number of U.S. companies that are great producers of these unmanned aerial systems, these drones. In fact, I think they do a better job than DJI. There is no reason why we can't disconnect ourselves from Chinese technology. And you're exactly right, that Chinese technology does create a vulnerability for the United States. You know, let's make the simple decision not to buy those anymore. We have another alternative. Let's use it.
Do you believe the drones in the sky right now that everyone's questioning who is driving these drones are Chinese?
Maria, listen, I've gotten a number of classified briefs on the sources of these drones. That information is classified, but I believe that the sources of these drones are in the hands of people that do not have the interest of the United States at heart. And that is problematic for us. No matter who they are, whether it's direct relation to the Chinese government or whether it's other forces that are counter to U.S. interest, those things should not be allowed to happen. We need a much more comprehensive and effective counter-UAS strategy, counter-unmanned aerial system strategy. And we're seeing this across the United States. Like I said, a year ago, on a nightly basis over Langley Air Force Base, these drones were flying. And without any sort of what I thought was a needed immediate response. We have to do more with that because I think our adversaries are testing us on a daily basis. They're looking to see what is our reaction, what are our capabilities, and when we don't react in a swift and severe way, that I think encourages our adversaries to do even more of these nefarious activities.
So if you believe that these drones are being run by people that do not have the best interest in America at heart, and that could be communist China, which is what I believe, why aren't we shooting them down?
Listen, I think we need to have a much more aggressive policy. In fact, I recently talked with the commander of Air Combat Command, and we both agree that we have to have an aggressive policy with this. And that is, if these unmanned aerial systems are flying into U.S. military airspace, critical U.S. military airspace, we should be able to immediately take them out. I understand there are other agencies that are involved in the methods we use, whether it's directed energy, which could have an impact on civilian aircraft. I want to make sure we mitigate any of those risks. But Maria, we can do that. We have the technology to do that, and we have to do that. We have to send a strong signal, no matter who these individuals are, that you are not going to fly drones into critical U.S. military airspace. You're just not going to do it.
But they are, okay? So they are.
Yeah.
Look, I got to move on. I got to ask you about the agenda because a new Fox News poll shows voters want President Trump to prioritize inflation and cutting taxes. 60% said that they want Trump to lower prices. 47% say they want Trump to cut taxes for individuals. And 39% say they want Trump to focus on deportation. We've been reporting for weeks that leadership in Congress wants 2 reconciliation packages. Sources tell me the issue is that you all do not have the votes in the Senate for the border bill. So you need to do the border bill through reconciliation. Obviously, that's the priority. I get that. So you're going to have to use the reconciliation package to get the border through because you don't have the votes to get up to $100 billion for the border. And then you've got energy as the second priority. And then you've got extending the tax cuts all the way at the end of 2025. And you're going to need another reconciliation package for that. Jason Smith is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. He disagrees with that. Here's what he told me yesterday. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Tax needs to be in the first reconciliation. It should not be put off till tomorrow to do what can be done today. We need a reconciliation bill that has border, energy, permitting, and tax. You put all 4 of those things together, we can deliver on that. What everyone needs to pay attention to is Congress has not passed 2 reconciliation bills into law since 1997 when Newt Gingrich was Speaker. They had a much larger majority. The House of Representatives majority is 220 to 215, and we'll be at 217 to 215 in just a few weeks. We have a smaller margin than what the United States Senate does. It is harder to pass bills in the House than it is in the Senate.
Is there a risk that a second reconciliation bill doesn't happen at the end of the year?
Absolutely. That is what I've been sounding the alarm the whole time.
Congressman, your thoughts?
For us to do now.
Congressman?
Yes.
Your reaction?
Yeah, listen, my reaction is we need to get as much done as quickly as we can right now. We do have 2 opportunities next year on reconciliation, but let's get as much done, including the tax cuts, as we can, as early as we can. I think our conference is going to meet and have conversations about how we work with the Trump administration to get those things done. But a tax cuts extension, border, national security, all are critical. The people in the United States want us to do it, so we have to get that done quickly.
All right, we'll leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much. We'll be watching your work. Thank you, Rob Wittman. We'll be right back.
Thank you.